Matriculants siyalamkela kwakhona. Today asizokwenza into ininzi azidila kakhulu principles, so emphasize nje some few things as you'll be writing next week. Only nje some few things into efuna uzinotisile kwi-functions ayondingako, but please make sure you note everything esayibhala phansi. La information is very very important. I believe ke kwi-functions you already know how to sketch the graph, you already know uba uyifumana njani equation yakho. Today mna ndizawudila only ne-graph interpretation. You are given a graph, then you are answering questions now with graph yakho. Without wasting your time, let's just go straight away to this case. Apa makala nge-exponential ka. This is a similar thing. I-exponents ndiyathemba uyakwazi ukusolve exponential graph le. I-function ye-point kwi-graph zonke ozinikiweyo uzawunika i-point pha. Once ubona i-point kwi-graph yakho, yazi kakuhle uba une-unknown kwi-equation, kukho i-variable engenayo kwi-equation yakho. So if ubona i-point A kwi-graph yakho, yazi phaya uba unantoni, une-unknown. So i-shape ze-exponential, I believe already siyayazi shape yakho pha apha i-exponent yakho is greater than 1 xa ime kanje. Senze umzekelo 2 to the power x, y is equal to 2 to the power x. Xa ime ngolu hlobo is less than 1. Zezi graphs ke ezi zinantoni, zine-inverses, zezo yi-2. Ziyi-4 graphs exponential ezisezantsi zona azinayo inverse because ne-negative gradient. Then la negative gradient iyakubetha phaa uba ungafumani ntoni, inverse. So sakwenza ezine-inverse yi-2. Into endifuna inotice apha is a small thing engaxakekisi. We already know equation exponential will take nje umzekelo 3 to the power x, that is the graph original. If we want to find inverse of this graph, this is y prime equals log base x. It's always like that. We don't calculate into means apha. If we have a base nale equation y is equal to 3 to the power x, then inverse yakho izaba y prime log base x. So from this equation we can see up, if base the original graph was more than 1, so nansi ayi-shape yayo because i-inverse iyachazela uba le inverse yale graph ibine-base greater than 1. Maka sisikesha siyibone. This is very simple. Ungoyiki into pha. This is your inverse original. Y is equal to 3 to the power x. Then we take mirror yethu. Mirror yethu is always y equal to x. I believe we all know that. Ayutishelo miso wakho pha. So we take inverse yethu kula line ingo y equal to x. Then sifumane phaya oba le equation yawubi ne-inverse izawuphuma ingo y prime ola hlobo equal to log nansi equation yayo. So what do we notice the equation? Kwi-equation the-inverse nobe ngayi-parabola nobe ngayi-hyperbola kuzafuneka ukwazi udetermine i-domain ne-range. I-domain yakho for original i-appearisha le-graph. Let's start from here. Let's say point A lo. From point A or y-intercept, which is 0 to 2, already sniper phezulu. Xa usuka apha usiza kweli cala, igraph yakhe iyavela kwi-negative x-axis. Xa usuka apha usiza ngapha, igraph yakhe iyavela kwi-positive x-axis. So for original, for y, i-domain yaphaya izawuthi x wakho apha is any number, that is a real number leyo. But for inverse, u-x wakho, because yabo inverse yakho here is greater than 0, ayikho kwi-negative x-axis, kweli cala ayikho phaya i-inverse, i-appearisha only kwi-positive. So i-domain yalapha ku-y prime kwi-inverse izoba ngu-x greater than 1, greater than 0. Ungafaka equal ke pha because this y variable i-actor as asymptote. So ungafaka equal pha. Let's do the same thing also with graph yesibini. Graph yesibini yona ithi uno y equal to 1/3 to the power x okanye 3 to the power minus x. You apply the same rule. Ufuna inverse yakho pha. Inverse yakho ithi y prime is equal to log base yakho ngubani 1/3, then ube no x phaya. So ithi lento ibase yakho iyachazela apha ole graph ibine base less than 1. That means ibi shape yayo le kusuka pha. So mawusuka from left to right ibi decreasing function there. So ithi lento this same equation can be written in two forms. Examiners yayithanda lento. Please note, if you take the exponent, because this is 3 to the power minus 1 nansi ya, so if umthatha mbe ngaphandle negative, that base isalinja. So makuthiwa minus log 3x is the same thing as log 1/3x. Note lento yaphuma lapha phepha lakho, wenza sure please. Phinda uzosketcha la graph still nalapha sketch graph yakho. We know was is less than 1, so this will be the shape. Then from this shape, this is your y, this is your x. Then sifuna mirror yethu pha, mirror yethu from y equal to x, siyayibeka pha, y equal to x. Then from that line, sisketche pha inverse yethu. I-shape yakho, ezi shapes ufuna ukuzimemorize, ungafuna ukuzazi. If uzazi, ufuna ukuzama uzimemorize, because ufuna ukuzazile. This is your original graph, which is your y. This is your inverse, which is your y prime. So that is what I wanted to emphasize to exponential graph. Nothing much, nothing less. The principle yakho nje ilo lahlo. Now let's go straight away to different questions. Si apply lento, siyibone kakuhle ba ezi laws sithetha ngazo ingaba ziyasebenza na okanye sive nje kuthethwa ngazo into engakhange icace. This is very simple. Let's look at the questions very quickly. Sibone ezi zinto. I don't want to waste your time and now ixesha nje lingaka. Ndifuna nje few minutes so that you understand. We are given this function pa ijilo example le. We are given this function y x unikwa point pa which is 2:9. That is your graph, and the function yakho in equation engubani engu a to the power x. That is the function on 9. So equations will come pa. That was 2015 February March. Then the question yokuqala evelayo pa uthiwa phaya basijonge igraph yakho nje before ubale uno a or unknown. This is just one variable. Lo a lona uyachazela manje ngoba a1 kule equation you need 1 point. So one variable here in functions noba yiphi graph ulingana ne number of points onazo pa. So in this case kuthiwa sifumane a wakho pa. Samfumana a wakho ngubani? F of x equals a to the power x, then use point t 2:9, then this is 9 equal to a squared. Then after square root both sides pa. Then when a positive a which is 3. Khumbule ke apha ku-exponential ibase yakho le ikhethe exponent will never be negative. If negative i-affecta i-gradient which is in front of that one, so soze ibe negative le base pa, so it will always be positive 3. So uthatha ii-marks zakho pa lo a umfake pa ufumane ii-marks zakho. Don't waste time, just apply. You must know uba uyokwenza ntoni xa uya kwi-functions. Ubone point yakho una unknown, then wazi uba uyokwenzani. Number 2 wale graph uthi khasifumanele apha u-g of x wakho xa u-g of x elingana no f of minus x. From this graph we can see sinikwe u-f. Now we translate f of x sifumane u-g. So ithi le nto from this f of x sinayo siyayireflecta le graph to the y-axis. Into affect the x variable is only y. So i-reflection about y-axis y wakho njani? It's negative. So that means ubeka imirror yakho pha. Xa ubeka imirror yakho pha izawuphuma le graph le ime kanje. So this will be g of x. Thathe phaya imax zakho. So that means g of x here will be equal to f of x, which is 3 to the power minus x, 1 over 3 to the power x. Into nje inja thatha imax zakho quick, ungawastanga xesha. Kuzobuza question ba determine now the values of x where f of prime x is greater or equal to 2. We know phaya f of prime the inverse yale graph. Bese sibonile kwanto basicekise eqaleni ba f of prime inverse. So if upper you know f of x, let me remove this graph. J bit. Ndibeke mirror yam pha. Ndifumana graph yam kanje. That is my f of prime. My original f, so this is my f of prime. My f of prime x. Yes. Since the values are x, f of prime 1 are greater than 2. So it to calculate let's just calculate it, because I like to use the graph because next one now I intercept which is 1, so 1 upper x weight. So now f of prime x greater or equal to 2. F of x weight is 3 to the power x greater or equal to 2. Then your x is greater than, okay, let's just solve this. This is log 3x, 32. So to calculate of money value. Then of money value yako test la value. Uba ngaba ilingana bani. Let's see le value ilingana bani pa. So this is log 32, which is 0.63. So this is 0.63. Now if we take that 0.63, a number a greater 3 to the power 0.64. So if mana pi a number greater than 2, so your x here will be greater or equal to log 32. See we are gonna stop. So will be greater than 30 max zakho pa kungekho ndingenye. So the question is avela is because there are some questions. Umuzi inverse yakho, is it a function or not? So those are easy things. So you draw upper line using a vertical line test. You can see this vertical line test, it cuts the graph at only 1 point. We know already into a function, each value of x must have one value of y. Then if you value of x say 1 in a more values of y, then it's not a function. So we use the vertical line test as a reason. So that is it for the exponential. So I believe other problems uzakwazi ukuzibona uzenze understand. If you don't understand just don't waste time, contact us very quickly. We will work with you sifunde nawe njengoba nawe ufunda nathi. The same thing ke bese apply exponential apply na parabola. Take and ndicacisa principle ne ndicacisa nje equation. Funa nje sibona apha le graph sinikwayo une parabolic graph up ine turning point lapha le parabola. Xa la na shape ngifuna nje ubone nikwa point A, point B, straight line, g of x f lo ku O lo, y variable point C, point D. Then f of x wakho ulingana na x squared minus 2x minus 3, g of x ulingana na x minus 3. Nazi izinto nazo question eziphumayo oqala kutabala i-coordinates zikasi, coordinates length of AB. So the questions ezibuzwayo is, so apha unknown zethu is C, point C, AB, length of AB, coordinates of D, BC, gradient ka BC le, and also theta BC, that is the angle of inclination ka BC. The question that was where your power is, yeah. Also, if values of k, okay, I'll do this one. So now the question is the where your power. Because it's wrong upper, as no point is nazo, these are unknowns. So point C, you are intercept, and on here's a graph so two. You're more now, yeah, leveling an x because a gradient. So with solutions are you won't waste much time. The solutions are just go straight away to the solutions. So upper number 1, coordinates of C is 0 is to 1, 0 is to -3. It's your y-intercept. Number 2, we are asked to find length of AB. AB, these are x-intercepts, Salah graph. Intercepts, this graph cut x-axis at point A and cut x-axis at point B. So that simply means your y is 0 at those points. Then you solve for x. You know how to factorize. So this will be x minus 3, x plus 1. Then your x becomes 3, your x becomes -1. So the coordinates of A here, -1 is to 0, and coordinates of B is 3 is to 0. We take your marks. Don't waste time. Upper for factorizer, I believe you already know factorize. Then the length of AB, this is the distance. If one variable does not change, here point A and B, your y remains constant. Just subtract the one that changes. If variable A1 I change, subtract this change. So upper AB will 3 minus 1 minus into -1, which is 4 units. That is your distance. Or after having these points from calculate from these calculations, use distance formula to calculate the length here. You can do that also in that way. So there are many ways on Enzangai, but this one is the shortest. Now let's calculate the coordinates of D. The coordinates of D is very simple. This is the turning point, point D. Turning point, we know if we have equation, our x value turning point is what? Is minus b over 2a. Same value is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2. So you can use either of these. If they give you x-intercept, don't use calculated x-intercepts because this one's a mistake, is over wrong one. So inside the lemon equation. But if you get x-intercepts, you can use this one. So you buy the method using the two methods. So this is minus b into -2 over 1 over 2. Your a is 1. Also here you've got 3 minus 1 over 2. So your x value paya is only 2 over 2 equal to 2 over 2, which is 1. So that is your x value and on your turning point. Now what is the value of y if my x is 1 now? What is my value of y if my x is 1? So this is -5 minus 1 is -4. That was a coordinates of point D. Don't waste time, just apply. I believe you know these things. I'm just showing you because I'm rushing to difficult questions where you have to apply yourself and see. Now find the coordinates about gradient of BC. Now you have coordinates of B, you have coordinates of C. Calculate MBC now. MBC, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. You already know these things. And your point B there, this is 0 minus or plus 3 divided by 3 minus point C wako minus 0. So this gradient is positive 1. Calculator pa. Tate max zako. That is your gradient of BC. So this is MBC. Number 5 wethu apha sesiyifumane gradient ka-BC. Now masibale phaya i-angle eyenziwa ngule line engu-BC uba engubani. Isimple ke angle yakho yayazi masiformula yakho ithi tan theta. So apha utheta wakho is tan arc m la gradient yalo line gqitha nguyo. Of which xa calculator yakho pha uzawufumana 45 degrees. So utheta BC lo kweza questions besizibhalile sithetha ngazo. So ngitheta BC wakho lo. So ndifuna nje ukuvezela nje izinto ezifihlakeleyo. Not that mean ndiyakudela ekubaleni. I know you can calculate. But ndifuna ukuvezela nje some tricks ezimana ukuvela pha le exam zoyibhala nje uba ukwazi nawe ufocusa ubone uba kuphuma ntoni. Yes, na question apha interestayo. Ithi now f of x is equal to k. Zeziphi ii-values za-x pha. Ithi le question khasifumane ii-values za-x apho le graph yethu besinayo. Ubone mos igraph yethu pha. Le graph yethu besinayo ino-point A, B, D, C ne-straight line. Hey, binje la graph. Now kuthiwa apha determine the values of k for which f of x wakho equal to k will have two unequal positive roots. So ithi le nto xa sijonga le graph apha, le graph lena i-positive y wakho pha abe ngu-0 abe negative. So ithi le nto apho le graph izoba ne-roots ezi-positive ezingaphi ezimbini. Ii-roots ziye-x ezizi x-intercept. So in this case yile ndawo sithetha ngayo le. Ubona point C. So sithetha ngento ezimbini apha nge-turning point no-point C. Yila part le siyifunayo laa ndawo because x wakho positive abe ngu-0 lawa intercept. So ithi ke ngoku le nto i-value esawusebenzisa pha is point D. Point D wakho ungubani? Point D wakho besimfumene engu 1 is to minus 4 and the coordinates zikasi bezingubani 0 is to minus 3. So ii-values zaphaya ka-k apho la graph funeke ibe nee-values ka-k ibe nee-positive unequal roots as positive. X wakho u-0 akho positive, so that means u-k wethu ukuze le graph ibe le nto kazi positive, k wethu must be greater than minus 4 but less than 1 but less than 0. Kise nje le sijonga u-y apha because le graph ilingana no-y graphical. Okanye le question ungayenza substitute pha uba nature of roots usolve now and in the form of k. Nangola hlobo ungayenza. So uthatha ii-marks zakho pha. Another interesting question apha ngathi number 6 mandiyibizayo. Now kuthiwa apha for which values of x is f of prime times f prime prime x, this must be greater than 0. Don't stress, this is very simple and easy. F of prime is a derivative of that function. We know a function yethu apha imisithi x squared minus 2x minus 3. Derivative pha, derivative yakho yayazi already. F of prime is equal to 2x minus 2. That is f of prime. F of prime prime x will be 1, will be 2. So now if you multiply these two, take this ifake pha, thathe leyo ifake pha. F of prime x times f of prime prime greater than 0. So this is 2x minus 2 times 2 times 2 greater than 0. So this is 2x minus 2 greater than 0. Divide ngo-2 pha, 0 divided by 2 angu-0. So your x here must be greater than 1. So that will be the solution ozoyifumana pha. So those are the questions ezifuna mathematicians ezikwazi ukusolva. Yes. So x wakho apha x greater than 1. Again, since they mistake up, kaloku k wakho apha f of x ulingana nabani no k. So we focus ku-y variable, not ku-x. So apho y wethu ku-point D minus 4, u-y wakho ku-point C ku-minus 3, not 0. forgive me, senze iphutanyana pha. Yes, zizavela kwi-questions zi-different, you see. Umzekelo apha kukho i-question eyakhe yavela isithi khawusketshe le graph, unikwa apha x1 is equal to 1 and x2 equal to 5. Zinto zinikiweyo eziya. Kuthe u-g of x is a tangent. G of x lo equal to 4 is a tangent. Khumbula tangent yakho ba line that touches the circle or a graph at only one point. Now kuthiwa ngokuphaya khawusikeshele le graph ke ngoku siveze lezi zinto. As we know already, i-properties ze-graph x1 and x2 zi-x-intercepts as. Now as x-intercepts siyazibona nge-positive. I-question esinayo yokuba i-shape yalapha izoba njani. Sine-shape eziyi-2 mos kwi-parabola. Kukho positive no-negative. Okay, it's fine. Xa ngabe i-graph yakho ime kanje, this is the value onayo. Kodwa i-tangent yakho usually iba si-straight line. Y equal to 1 mx plus c. Siyazi kakuhle uba once i-gradient ibe ngu-0, u-y wakho lengana no-c when u-m wakho engu-0. On this case usi wakho ngu-4. Nankuya asina-gradient phaa la question. So if asina-gradient, ithi le nto le tangent ikwi-turning point of the graph phaa. Zicondition eziyi-2 ezi onazo phaa. So if we sketch the graph now, siyobeka the properties nazo. Sinabani up, sino positive 1 and positive 5. And then sibe no 4 phaa. Nansi le point. Yayibona ishape yaziphumela. In this case, ozophumana yakho ishape ke udrawe zakhe ezinye. Ishape yaziphumela phaa. Azijonge ezantsi le graph. Izophuma kanje. Then that point will be your tangent. Y g of x equal to 4. Nansiya. Then le graph lena uyazi mos uba usketshayo ufumana x-intercept, y-intercept and turning point. It will be very difficult to find the x-intercept, y-intercept. Probably uzokwazi uyifumana because unazo x-intercept, unayo x-value turning point. Ubeke la equation basically sithetha ngayo sathi if you want to find i-value of x given x-intercept, use this equation. This is the value and the turning point. Fumana i-value zakho phaa. So this is 3. So ithi le nto i-value ka x phaa engu-3, that is your axis of symmetry. I-graph yakho iphaa. So that will be the shape of a function abafuna ukuyibona kwi-question yakho. Zi-examiners ke eziya ziqhubela phaa. Ibalulekile uku-understand bakufuna ntoni, u-apply into yaziyo phaa kwezaa zinto. Besithile ukuba sizoveza nto ezilula apho. Sifuna uhighlighta nje ezi problems zithanda ukusokolisa so that nawe ukwazi uunderstanda ulandele. Nazi ezinye kaloku sekhona nje. Let's see also this last one. Yeah, very interesting. I love these questions. Also here unikwe x-intercepts eziyi-2. This is the graph onayo. Kule graph kuthiwe phaa, ngixolela I'm just writing a shape ne. So apho x yakho ngu-3 ku-2 lo unikwe phaya tangent. Adot unikwa i-tangent at that point. That point kuthiwa ngu-point D mayibizo, which is 1 is to -8. Nansi igraph yakho phaa. Na i-question iyaphuma ngoku. Khumbula ukuze ufumane i-equation ye-x-intercept ye-graph must be given x-intercept and the point. Nansi okanye i-turning point and the point. So i-question yokuqala ezophuma phaa izothi ifumana ntoni? Izothi ifumana i-equation ye-graph. It's fine. This is the equation oyisebenzisayo if uthi afumana equation. We are just applying the equation. So this is a x plus 3 x minus 2, that is your y. Then use point D, the given point, for finding unknown. Point in unknown. Kayokufumana unknown function ye point. Then you find your value kwa calculator yakho phaa. So this will be -4a minus 8. Then your a becomes positive 2. Thatha lo a uzomfaka kule equation multiply pha, so this will be 2 into x plus 3 x minus 2 multiply pha x squared plus x minus 6 uzafumana into enje xa multiply which is 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. Andifundisi wena ukumultiply pha, uyazazi zazile. Yona nto ndifuna uyiveza pha yi-approach yokusolva la problem. So now ifumene equation yegraph now. Njengoba unayo equation yegraph, yintoni enoyenza pha? Surely bazofuna now sicalculate phaya intoni i-coordinates zantoni ze-tangent. You can find equal the turning point. It's simple. Turning point yakho nanzi igraph yakho. Phofu sewunayo equation. So i-turning point uyibone baseyibale njani ekuqaleni. Andizokubonisa i-turning point besiyibone kwemizekelo egqithileyo. So if equation unayo, you can use minus b over 2a ubala i-turning point yakho. Apho ndifuna ukuza khona kukubala i-tangent, because the tangent si-straight line esizofuneka sifuniwe siyabuzwa pha. So funeka sikwazi ukusifumana la equation i-tangent. It's simple. I-tangent you always know yi-derivative. So now sifuna now y tangent, which is always a straight line, mx plus 1 plus c. This m simfumana nge-derivative original graph. Graph yethu ibe ngubani? 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. So y prime is 4x plus 2. Now we take that point. At point D, ingubani gradient yakho? So point D, 1 is to minus 8. So xa ngaba u-x engu-1 ingubani gradient? Then you find i-gradient yakho pha ingu-6. So uthatha 6 yomfaka pha ku-straight line. So this is y equals 6x plus c. Then use the point to find unknown. Function ya point leyo nansi unknown pha unayo pha, uyawuthatha ii-marks zakho. So 6 minus 8 bani. So this will be minus 14 is your c. So y tangent is equal to 6x minus 14. So those are your marks, grade 12. Please make sure you take those marks. Yes.